What if the Soviet Union never collapsed? December 26th, 1991. The red flag over the Kremlin is lowered for the last time. The Soviet Union, one of history's greatest powers, ceases to exist. But what if that flag never came down? What if Gorbachev's reforms had worked and the USSR had survived? Today we imagine a world where the Cold War never truly ended, where the Soviet Union didn't collapse but evolved. By the late 1980s, the Soviet system was cracking. The economy was stagnating, satellite states were rebelling, and glasnost, openness, exposed decades of corruption and repression. When the Berlin Wall fell, it wasn't just a physical barrier that crumbled. It was the idea that the USSR could keep up with the capitalist world. By 1991, 15 republics broke away. NATO began expanding eastward, and the world entered a brief unipolar moment, with America on top. Now imagine one critical difference. Gorbachev's perestroika reforms don't fail, they succeed. Instead of resisting change, the Communist Party adopts a Chinese-style model, socialism with controlled capitalism. Factories are partially privatized, foreign investment is cautiously allowed, and Moscow becomes the Beijing of Europe. Authoritarian but economically open. The KGB transforms into a national tech and intelligence powerhouse, the Soviet Silicon Valley, not Silicon Gulag. By the 2000s, the USSR still exists, but it looks different. The Baltic states and Ukraine remain within a reformed union, tied by economic incentives rather than fear. China and the USSR form an early Eurasian bloc, rivaling the US decades before BRICS. The ruble becomes a regional reserve currency, backed by vast oil and gas exports. Europe never expands eastward. There's no NATO on Russia's border, no EU as we know it, and no US dominance in Eastern Europe. The internet, global supply chains, and Western tech booms still happen. But under tight state regulation, the Cold War never ends. It just turns into a quiet economic competition. With no Soviet collapse, the US never enjoys its unchallenged superpower era. The Gulf War still happens, but Washington must negotiate every move with Moscow. NATO remains a limited defense pact, not the global alliance it became. Meanwhile, China doesn't rise alone. It grows alongside a powerful Soviet partner. Together, they build a massive Eurasian economic zone from Warsaw to Shanghai. In this world, globalization comes slower and differently. The 2008 financial crisis barely happens, because Western banking never dominates the world. But innovation slows, censorship expands, and freedom takes a backseat to stability. So, did the world lose stability when the USSR fell, or gain freedom? In our real history, the collapse brought independence to millions, but also chaos, oligarchs, and wars born from the vacuum of power. In this alternate world, the red flag still flies, but maybe the cost of stability was the silence of the individual. History's biggest what if isn't just about who won, but what kind of world we chose to build from the ruins. For more alternate history deep dives, like, share and subscribe What If Social.